A warning to all the souls that watch my channel. I'm here to warn people about the terrible dangers of what's about to befall the earth, and what's already befalled the earth already, but it's going to get worse as the end of times come. Sadly, it won't be stopped like Kim Clement prophesied. The amount of souls that have been hailed down to the abyss of the inferno where Satan sits at the very bottom. It is real. I've got the book here to prove Our Lady. The route of Lucifer and his angels from Calvary to the abyss of hell were more violent and disastrous than the first expulsion from heaven. As Holy Job says, Job 10:21, that place is a land of darkness, covered with the shades of death, full of gloomy disorder, misery, torment, and confusion. Yet on this occasion the chaos and disorder was a thousandfold increased, because the damned were made to feel new horror and additional punishment at the sudden meeting of the ferocious demons. In their rabid fury it is contained that the devils have not the power of assigning the damned to a place of great torment. The damned to a place of greater or lesser torment, for all their torments are decreed by divine justice according to the measure of the demerits of each of the condemned. Right, this part is to do with what happened at the crucifixion. Her son Jesus, and united with her command that Lucifer and all demons departed to the infernal depths, in virtue of these decrees of the supreme king and queen and of the queen, the evil spirits were routed from Calvary and precipitated to the deepest hell more violently and suddenly than a flash of light through the riven clouds. This is the part I'm telling people about what's going to befall people. Satan also gives a speech of how to hinder your good fortune by stopping you from saying the prayers of the rosary and saying prayers of how to cleanse your soul from the stains of sin. This is the great fear that Satan hates, because it's to do with the 144,000 prayers. From the beginning, I have held this humanity as my greatest enemy. It has always filled me with intolerable abhorrence. O men so favoured and gifted by your God, whom I abhor, and so adding love by him, how shall I hinder your good fortune? How shall I bring upon you my unhappiness, since I cannot destroy the existence you have received? What shall we now begin? O my followers, how shall we restore our reign? How shall we recover our power over men? How shall we overcome them? For if men from now on shall not be most senseless and ungrateful, if they are not worse disposed than we ourselves towards this God-man, who has redeemed them with so much love, it is clear that all of them will eagerly follow him. None will take notice of our deceits. They will abhor the honours which we insidiously offer them, and will love contempt. They will seek the mortification of the flesh, and will discover the danger of carnal pleasure and ease. They will despise riches and treasures, and love the poverty so much honoured by their master. This is going against Klaus Schwab's with "You'll own nothing and be happy." This is exposing the spiritual of what you're going to go through, but you don't really need anything from the earth because it's all materialism. Greater is using sodomy than the one that runs the world. The one that runs the world is Satan. That's to do with Klaus Schwab's. It even tells you about the false teachers and leaders of error, and malignant spirits, the sect of Muhammad, the heresies of Iris, Pelagius, Nestorius, and whatever other heresies have been started in the world from the first ages of the church until now. It does go into great detail about how the demons are basically influencing man. Apoc 59:12, Thine is, O Lord, the power, thine the reign, and thine is the glory of thy works. Then the Lord commanded the angels to bring all the souls in purgatory, and this was immediately done, as if in earnest of the human redemption they were absolved then and thereby the Redeemer from the punishment still due to them, and they were glorified with other souls of the just by the beatific vision. Thus on that day of the presence of the King were depopulated the prison houses of both limbo and purgatory. The prayer to Saint Gertrude I have posted up. There's another part in this book that I did try to get through. It tells you how Satan's trying to make sure people are getting their mind weakened by dumbing us down, by deceitfulness of what they're doing. They changed the sugars from sugar cane to sugar diabetes so people can give the blood to these demons as part of the clone system, what they've got to do with the Toltecan Empire and the Great Mud Flood, and there's a map to do with other ferments. This is part of what's taken place. This rosary is also part of the fifth commandment, honour thy father and thy mother. Speaking to the blessed Almond, our Lord said, if only these poor wretched sinners would say my rosary, they would share my merits and merits of my passion, and I would be their advocate and would appease my Father's justice. It's also part of Our Lady as well. She adds other attachments to the rosary and promises, which is also part of the restoration, healing, gladness. This is what it says, the Mother of God. I am the mother of the King of Heaven, and he calls me full of grace, and being full of grace, I am able to dispense grace freely to my dear children. The rosary is the root and storehouse of many blessings. Through it sinners are forgiven, souls that are fettered have their bonds broken, those who weep find happiness, those who are tempted find peace, the poor find help, religious are reformed, those who are ignorant are instructed, the living learn to overcome pride, the dead, the holy souls, have their pains eased by prayer and sacrifice. On the back part of the book, it tells you the 15 promises of Our Lady spiritually. So you can, pause the video, screenshot it. And it's also good for children as well. The children can say the rosary as well. So it does state that the faithful children of the rosary shall merit a high degree of glory in heaven. You shall obtain for me all you ask of me by the recitation of the rosary. But this part, Satan doesn't want you to know about. He hates it when you find out that the rosary is a powerful weapon. The rosary shall be a powerful armour against hell. It will destroy vice, decrease sin, and defeat heresies. Whoever shall faithfully serve me by the recitation of the rosary shall receive single graces. Number 2, I promise my special protection and the greatest graces to all those who shall recite the rosary. This is part of the 2 French children prophecy, 1846, and the people of the future generations. Since I've already read it, it's also part of Nostradamus' prophecy. It tells you about the 2 witnesses showing up, helping the Christians, the oppressed Christians, which is the Holy Catholic faith. Satan's trying to extinguish the Holy Catholic faith. Lucifer, with a very great number of demons, shall be unchained from hell. By decrees they shall abolish the faith, even among persons consecrated to God. They shall blind them in such a manner, without very special graces, these persons shall imbibe the spirit of those wicked angels. It also says, for the devil will use all malice to bring persons into orders who are addicted to sin. So in other words, his ministers, his spirit monitors, his watchers that fell in the days of Enoch, and they're still hunting us down like wild animals. They chain us up with they actually chain us up in the spirit realm, and they lead us into a place like the Temple of Zeus. It's actually Satan's temple. There's a painting based on Zeus holding a rod of lightning, whereas Jesus speaks like lightning. There's a big difference. Satan will use all forms of malice to masquerade as Jesus, but if you say the rosary and seek Our Lady out, it's also part of the 5th commandment. Honour your father and your mother. Jesus stated, you have one Father in heaven. God came down as man, and you can't go to the Father unless you seek him through Jesus. So who do you reckon the Mother of Heaven is? It's his mother, Our Lady, Queen of Peace. Jesus states, my mother was conceived without stain of sin, in order that from her virginal substance I might stainlessly clothe myself in the humanity in which I came to the world and redeem it from sin. My flesh is her flesh. On the other pages it says a heart was compressed to give 3 drops of blood to say yes to Jesus, to form Jesus in the womb. 3 drops of blood. It was tightly compressed, which is part of the purple scapular, purple scapular 7-year tribulation. Sacred Ark of the Covenant was not to be touched or handled in the common way. This is about Our Lady. You can pause the video and read that no one could lay a hand or touch the body of Our Lady, the Blessed Lady. Sacred Ark of the Covenant, she's actually the 5th commandment, was not to be touched or handled in the common way. a virgin before birth, child